Again with the Valhalla Ventures, REIGuideservice.com, REIGuideservice.com. Thought I'd do a little bit of motivation, tell a quick story about how I got started. I've told pieces of it before, but I'll just tell this little piece for some motivation. When I got started, it was about a year after I had walked the stage for graduation. And about 11 months since my counselor called and said that I couldn't have my diploma because I was missing a credit. But if I came back to get that credit, I would actually be graduating the following year, which means I didn't graduate with everybody else, which also means that I would now have to take 2 credits because the incoming graduate class, anyway. So I didn't go back. I've been mowing yards and doing other handyman type stuff to earn money. I thought, if I can earn a couple $1,000s a month doing side stuff, who needs more than a couple $1,000 a month? Well, I was naive. So I became a handyman after while having 2 kids, before having 2 kids, realizing I was going to have kids. I stepped up my game a little bit and really started trying to prepare, and things just kind of evolved. Not because I even tried, but as I've spoken about before, the circle of knowledge just kept increasing. And I started doing handyman stuff. I only wanted to do work outside. I didn't want to go in people's houses. Got hired by an investor that hired me to do work on people's houses, or on his houses, but nobody lived in them, so they were empty. Didn't really have a problem with that. And I had the huge advantage of getting to see tons of different approaches for different investors. Now, the motivation comes here. It's not always been easy. Taking the first jump to buy that first house, nerve-wracking. The first investment deal that I did, nerve-wracking. The whole time I worked on it, nerve-wracking. And this is when I had some experience. This is when I had been a handyman for a while. I bought my first house. I, knew basically the functions of a home. I was still nervous for the process and if I was doing everything right and trying to figure out the paperwork, and everything else was just a nightmare. First investment property I did, same thing. And I can just tell you that there was many times where I said, screw it. I can't do this. I cannot do this BS where I rely on people being honest and forthright, relying on trades to get the job done if I hired any other trades, or relying on people to pay me when they said they were going to pay me. Lots of investors would not have the money to pay me, hire me anyway, and then ultimately, once I was done with the job, tell me that I could get paid when they sold the house because that's when they would have money. And that wasn't fair. I wasn't part of that investment deal. I wasn't agreeing to finance their project, but there's always justification for how that was being treated. And I kind of looked at it like, well, maybe when I'm not a handyman anymore and I'm a contractor, I take that next step. That'll give me the respect that I deserve. That'll give me the feedback, the motivation, the je ne sais quoi. But it didn't. What it did was it gave me more anxiety, more big projects, more developers, more responsibilities, more problem solving, more problems, more answers, more solutions, constantly having to be the expert. But what it taught me was that when you're the only person, the general contractor, to answer for stuff that's going on a job site, you can hire people to answer those questions. You can do a lot of different things, but ultimately it really comes back down to your responsibility. You're the head honcho. And what I learned is in all those low moments where I wanted to go do something else, I wanted a regular paycheck, what it really was saying was I want to pass that part of the responsibility on to someone else. I don't want to be responsible for leading the way the efforts of my work. I don't want to be in charge of where that's going. That's what that's saying. I want to allow someone else to choose my direction with 8 hours a day of my life. Because the responsibility of it, the accountability of it, the fact that it all comes back to me, because when it works, it's all me. When it fails, it's all me. That's a lot. And I think that when it's not going perfect, and honestly, sometimes even when it is, sometimes when you get what you want, you realize that's not what you want, or it's not what you needed. It wasn't part of the goal. It was what everybody else was doing. You know, it's like hiring a personal assistant and then literally having the realization that you have no personal life or personal responsibilities that this person can oversee. You simply hired them because you were put in a position that you were told that that's what people in your position had. But why? It's a bullshit job, and there's a lot of bullshit jobs. But you can either be that assistant with nothing to do that makes good money, not really doing anything in life, or you can be the person that's in charge, giving that person some sort of direction. And I think that being an entrepreneur, being an investor, again, comes back to, where do you want your time spent on this planet? Do you want it spent in your direction, doing the things that you want to do in all of it? Or do you want to spend time following someone else's leadership? And listen, there's nothing wrong with following other people's leadership. I follow other people's leadership on tons of projects. As a GC, there was architects, engineers, the customer, lots of different people having input. And I just had to be the problem solver, the person that could figure things out. That didn't pass permit. Okay, why? What do we need to do to fix it? You can't just say, didn't pass permit. Just, oh well, burn the whole job down now. That's not how it works. And so I want to make sure that if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling uninspired, unmotivated, you're going to be stuck in a job forever, you're not. You're going to be stuck as long as you don't want to take accountability. If you don't want to take accountability for that portion, you just want that steady paycheck, there is nothing wrong with that, because that gives you a time, especially if you can just cut off when you're done working, cut that off and all your free time is your free time. That sounds amazing also. I will tell you, it's one of the luxuries that I think that people that have a job working for someone else have. I think it's something that a lot of entrepreneurs strive to gain. So neither one of them is the right answer. It's just determining what's the right answer for you, because a lot of people, I think, that are entrepreneurs get real jobs because they feel that they don't want that responsibility, or they're scared, or they feel that it's what they're supposed to be doing, and that's all there is to it. But I think that on the other hand, if you're in a position where you are an entrepreneur or you are an investor and you're putting a lot of effort into something and you're not seeing those rewards, just don't give up, because you have to invest your time. They say 100 deals to gain one, which maybe that's right. I don't know. But the reward for me as an entrepreneur has been an unbelievable freedom to be there for my children, to be there for my friends, to be there for my family. Not just physically going, but sometimes, just answering the phone and talking for an hour to someone that just really needs to talk, that's upset about something or has an issue. And I'm talking personally. I'm not even talking about business. Being able to be there for people is the part of being an entrepreneur that I really enjoy the most. Not just the being there for clients, but being there for family, friends, and having that availability of time to make for people, because time is the most valuable thing that we have. Be blessed, bless others, keep hustling, and it works out. Yeah, just keep going. Keep doing what you need to do. Make subtle changes. Success is a wheel, not a ladder. You got to find the thing that makes you successful and then keep doing it. It's not like success, oh, cool, and then you just keep moving up the ladder and don't have to do this stuff anymore. You still have to do that. You're just making your wheel bigger, expanding your circle of knowledge. It's amazing at a certain point. I still have low points. Everybody does. Where I question, especially I get some pretty crazy job offers. Especially in the last couple of years, I've gotten some very, 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 very lucrative offers, but it would require me to travel 90% of the time. And I just don't want to do that. I want to be there for my friends. I want to be there for my family. I want to be blessed and bless others. And the best way I can do that is give them my time. Have a good day.